Good morning. So I went out on a hike this morning. I'm kind of feeling inward. I'm kind of feeling I didn't even know if I was going to record anything this morning. I'm kind of feeling like I'm in a stage of reflection and kind of in my own self, trying to, I don't even feel like I'm doing anything. I feel like I just feel like being. I want to get some work done. But I sat down in this spot and I'm in Nakhlamur and I'm overlooking. See, there's the pillar and the cave. I'm hiking up a different route. I want to get up to the top. There's an altar up there overlooking the pillar and the cave, in which I see the pillar and the cave as kind of like in ancient times when we were more connected to our spirituality and mysticism and the universe, we're more connected to nature. I would have seen this as kind of like divine masculine and divine feminine, and it would have been very symbolic. Which divine masculine and divine feminine is the creation of life. And I was just sitting here and feeling um, like I bet you in this very spot that I'm sitting right now, in every generation there has been, I mean, people have sat in this exact space that I'm sitting, because it's a perfect rock to just sit and overlook this view, and people have lived in that cave for thousands of years. They did archaeological digs there, and this would have been a place, and this was a route from Lower Galilee to Upper Galilee, and was a route up to Tzfat and to Hermon Mountain. This would have been a route that Jesus walked. This was the route. And all up this valley, there's ancient artifacts. And it's amazing how all of the generations, most of the generations before us, didn't leave a footprint. They lived with nature, evolving with nature. And other than carved rocks or places that you see are dug out, or pottery shards, which are part of the earth itself, they didn't leave footprints. I was watching this documentary yesterday on, there's two little hummingbirds down there playing. This documentary on Earth, our planet, I think, or Earth, or the universe, or something like that. One of the, with what is his name? I forget his name, but it's a really good documentary. And they had an episode on chimpanzees, and you see how the chimpanzees just move through nature. They don't take anything with them. They're completely non-attached. They're constantly in the now. Each of the chimpanzees has like a distinct personality and a place in the family group, and they move from place to place like nomads. They move from fruit tree to fruit tree. They have no attachment to a specific place. They feel safe in the world and in their environment. And when the old aunt needed to die, she could just feel that she needed to die, and she went off by herself and laid down and died. And it's amazing, because you watch it and you see that that is instinctively how we are by nature. They have their own internal clock. They move with the sun. They don't need anybody to tell them what to do. And they're not trying to figure it out and make things be a certain way. They're just following their own instinct, and they're guided from this internal clock. And it was talking about time also. They were showing the chimpanzees, but they were also talking about, he was also talking about time, how everything moves along time, and it really connects to a lot of thoughts that I have, and things that I'm experiencing with time, and how we can bend time, and how getting into the now prolongs our time. You know, when we're in our mind, we're running things and we're not really present in the moment. When you're present in the moment, time almost stands still. It's a paradox of sorts, because time almost stands still, but then when you get out of the now and you look back at time, you're like, oh, where was I? It's like going into this completely different dimension, the dimension. And like he was saying that everything is it's not really time, it's more like energy. And this is also reminding me of thoughts and realizations that and downloads that I've gotten about energy, about being in the different dimensions. You can either play with time, or you can play with energy. But what I was thinking about is that in this very spot, if I did rewind, I imagine that thousands of people have sat in this exact spot that I'm sitting in right now. It's just by nature walking through here. This is the place to sit and rest. It's in the middle of the hike up. Let's see. I hiked up the valleys down there. It rained last night, so the smell is just magnificent. And this is a hike. It's usually a hike that I do in winter because of the sun. Because when you get up on the top of this ridge, you're completely open to sunlight. So in the summer, it's harsh. Um, so I was having the thought that thousands of people, or hundreds of thousands, hundreds of people at least, probably thousands of people, have sat in this very spot, and how generation after generation, and I'm thinking thousands of years ago, and their lives are gone, just like that chimpanzee that went into the forest and just laid down and died. And there is no memory, um, there is no consequence to it. I'm sure there is a consequence to it, because we are all extensions of generations that came before us, and our knowledge is built on former knowledge, and even our being is built on people that came before us. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people have come together to make this unique me. Um, by DNA, when you go back in your family tree, you're one. But when you go back in your family tree, your parents are two, your grandparents are four, your great grandparents are eight, and you keep on going and going and going, and you see that you are this unique makeup of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, that you are their life force, you are their continuance into the world. So on one hand, humanity is going this way, expanding. It's a paradox. It all comes back to, I see like the double pyramid, like we're at the top of the pyramid, but we're also at the bottom of the pyramid. And the pyramid is going both ways, from God down and from earth up. Uh, Not really from God down, because God is everything, but you get what I'm saying. Like to the ethers and then to the ground. It's just like the Magen David. It's the pyramid going in both directions. It's the paradox. It's completion. And I need to connect back. So as the PowerPoint that we are the PowerPoint of life, of all the generations that have come before us, and we are their representation. So when we look at it this way, our life is not only ours, it's supreme. And in the same sense, it is only ours, and we get to choose what to do with it, and we're the only ones that can choose what to do with it. But at the same time, we have this responsibility and we can choose to take the responsibility or not take the responsibility. That is also a choice, a personal choice. So it's all paradox. It's like, from humanity, if you look at humanity, humanity started, let's say, from Adam and Eve, right? But symbolically, it started from two and spread out you could say, like a pyramid, and just expanded and expanded and expanded, and it went outward. And then you could also say, but me as an individual, going backwards, I'm a pyramid, because I'm one, and my parents are two, my grandparents are four. So it's like the opposite pyramid. So everything in life, when you look at it, there's the micro and the macro, there's the paradox and everything. And when you find a paradox, you find a whole. It's like when you find pure black and pure white, you find all of the shades of gray in between, and it becomes a full circle with with black on one side of the sphere and white on the other side of the sphere, and all the rest is filled in with all the different um, shades. So life, I'm finding more and more that wherever you find a paradox, you found a whole. So the more paradoxes you can find are completing more holes and holes and spheres and spheres and spheres. And then all of that together makes up a massive sphere. And then all those massive spheres together, and it goes endlessly, 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 on and on and on and on and on. And sitting in this place, I was feeling like, on the one hand, I'm so insignificant. So many generations have come before me and sat in this very spot and pondered on their own thoughts and had their own beliefs and their own emotions. And this has been a very, very extreme time for me emotionally, personally. And I can see for the planet as well. Everything in the planet is in extreme, is in full volume. Everything is happening. With wars going on, and there's immense change, and change is painful for a lot of people. A lot of people's lives are being turned upside down and changing all around, and change is painful because you have to change. You have to get out of your regular ways of being, your regular ways of thinking. You have to start embracing the new. You get out of your comfort zone. You have to try new things. It starts bending your mind so that you have to think new ways. You have to change your beliefs. You have to find new abilities and capabilities. You have to educate yourself. You have to be accepting of what is changing. Otherwise, you are dragging against the change, even though the change is happening, and you can't stop the change. Change is the only thing that is continuous and constant and will always be. That is where you can put your anchor. You can always say change. Every day that you wake up is going to be a different day than the day before. And if you're just holding on in place, then you're not evolving, and there's pain in that. And it's just like the chimpanzees. They get up in the morning and they follow the fruit. They follow their nose. They follow the smells. They follow the sun. They follow the weather. The sun goes down. They start seeing the sun going down. They're building their shelter for the night because they don't stay in the same place. They're constantly moving, 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 and evolving. Evolving and not evolving. Everything that we are doing has been done before, even when we think that we're so unique. And sitting here, I was thinking, wow, I'm so unspecial that I am my individual. People have sat here with strong, strong emotions and pondered and in pain and lost loves and lost lives. And that my pain is of no consequence. Somebody who sat here 5,000 years ago with a broken heart, or attachment. It's attachment. That's all it is. Pain is attachment and not moving and not changing and not evolving. That's where the pain lies. Because if you don't have attachment to outcome, there is no pain. If I'm not wanting something to be and trying to make it be like I want it to be, then I wouldn't be in pain. I would just be like, oh, okay, we're on an adventure. Everything's moving. Oh, okay, well, oh, not there. Okay, so let me go see where, yes. I would be in complete, just an experiencer of life and not attaching meaning to it, like feeling Tria is, in Hebrew, is like when somebody pushes you away, feeling rejected or feeling not good enough or inadequate, or these kinds of feelings. When you are an experiencer of life, those things are not relevant. Those are relevant to your ego. You think that you're something, and then you have an expectation, and your expectation is not being met, and it means something about your belief. And so when you can let go of your expectation, just start flowing through life like the chimpanzee. There's a little hummingbird right down here, just beautiful green, sitting on the flower. I don't know if I'm going to try to turn it. It's right there on the flower. has blues and greens. It's beautiful. See, it's not worried. It's not worried what it's going to do in the morning when it gets up. It just trusts in God and providence that, and God, I don't mean in a like religious way. God is everything. That flower is God. I'm God. You're God. We're all God. We're all children of God. We're all substance of the all, of the whole, of the everything. And that comes back to me sitting here and feeling on one hand, I'm so insignificant because I'm so insignificant because you know the emotions that I have, and it's my own self-work. It's my thousands of people have sat, and now there's a big bumblebee that came to that same flower. See that flower, it's one flower, and all it is doing its thing. It's not trying to be anything. It's not trying to, hey, look at me, look at me. It's putting out its best face forward. It's in its prime. It's flowering. It's in its prime. It's giving its gift to the world. It's being in full expression. And all it's doing is sitting there and waiting. It's like, and that is the magic of life. Just what is yours will come to you naturally. You come and give your full expression. You flower your flower to the world. You show the world who you are. You bring your talents forth. And whoever needs those talents will be drawn to you. It's a given. You don't have to go and try to push your talents on anybody or force anybody to see what you're doing. And that's a life lesson to me also in doing these videos. Before I started doing videos, I felt like I needed to express it. It was kind of born out of me, and there was like this something that was stopping me. Like, how do I do it? What do I need to do? So do I need to make like subjects? And it started feeling like I couldn't do it because it's like I have to do it in a certain way, or it started to feel like work or all of that. And then when it really just came out of me, it's almost like something that you can't hold anymore. And I think that I did a few little videos, but the first video that I really did that was um, I think natural and heartfelt and just came out of me was I was off somewhere and I did something about the twin flames because I just couldn't hold it. And and then it just opens something up. It's kind of like the flower. It's just be in full expression. Just do it when it comes. Do what feels right and what feels right in the moment, and allow yourself to be, because a lot of things when you look back, you can't predict exactly where it's going, but you have to trust in divine guidance and divine intelligence to kind of take you to where, and that's kind of like what the chimpanzees were doing, trusting in divine intelligence to guide them. They don't get up in the morning they get up in the morning, okay, let's go get breakfast. And they get up in the morning in bad moods, and they get up in the morning in good moods, and they have their babies, and they're accepting of everybody else's in their pack, uh, gets up in a bad mood, everybody just kind of avoids them. But it's like they follow nature. And we have this internal clock in us. And we are always trying to control it because we have this higher intelligence, or I don't even know if to say it's a higher intelligence. We have an independent intelligence, maybe, where we can figure things out and and we can use our focus in ways that we choose to use our focus, where we have evolved our intelligence into independent thinking. And so we try to take control over everything, and then we're trying to take control over God, and we're trying to take control over our natural way of being. So in nature, night comes in when the sun goes down, and then you're in the dark. Okay, so you can make a little bit of light, but basically it's your eternal clock is saying, okay, the day is ended, it takes the choice out of it for you, and then you are submersed into nature. You're kind of surrendered into the way that things are. But nowadays, man want to work and work and work and think that productiveness is the point of living, which productiveness isn't always the point of living. I know that we have to make a means and that we're living in a certain reality and a certain consensus that has been built on thousands of generations, and that we kind of, in order to live, we can't just go back in the valley and live anymore, basically. At least not in the Western world very well. I mean, some people do it in Alaska and Montana and places like that, and but it as a in society, and besides, I like the internet, and I like having the ability to go places, and I like that I have information readily at my fingertips. So I have also evolved into, I don't know, I don't know. It feels like evolving is going to all of the extremes. It's like we're born naked with in completely connected to the all, and then throughout our lives we disconnect and get into the noise, and we go all the way through the different ways of being, and then when we come back to purity, it's like coming back down into, wait a minute, back down into being a baby again, wanting to be just connected to nature and the all, and flow with the sun and the moon, and mysticism, and your spirit connection to God, the all, nature, the universe, back to nomad ways of living, with nature, and in sync with nature, and in sync with yourself, because by nature that's how we are. And I want to come back to the thoughts that I was having about finding this place, and realizing that there were probably thousands of people that sat in this very place, and they had all sorts of emotions and pain coming up, and how all of that is right now of no consequence. Once that person is gone, it's of no consequence other than the footprints that they left in the generations after them. Um, and so I was thinking about that, my own individual pain, um, how insignificant it is in the big picture and the big scheme of all. But at the same time, I can use it, I can alchemize the emotions, and I can use them to better see I am insignificant as a one, as an individual, but as being part of the all, and being part of this uh, mass, the divine intelligence, the creator, part of the earth. I am just a part of the earth. All of everything that I am made up of flows according to the laws of nature. Me and this plant have so much in common. And me and Rexy really have a lot in common, right, Rexy? We both can walk around and move on the planet, so it's like we're in between heaven and earth. The plants are connected to the earth. They can't, once their life starts, that's it. They, unless we dig them up, but basically once their life starts, they are set in place. So we are the movers of mass. So we're like ants. We move things around from place to place. We're the mixers of everything. We take everything and mix it up. But we can also mix the earth up, but we can also mix up thoughts and create new thoughts, and mix up ideas and create new ideas. We're creators and mass movers, and mixers, and we're kind of just like the water, and we're made up mostly of water, if you think of it that way. Water mixes everything together. Water comes and it moves everything, and it makes everything. Without water, nothing rots. So it's just like they found it down in the desert here in Israel, in Qumran by the Dead Sea. They found those ancient scrolls that were 2,000 years old. They found them in caves with ancient knowledge. Amazing, amazing. And those scrolls lasted 2,000 years because there wasn't moisture. There was a little bit of dry rot, and a lot of them were kind of disintegrated because of dry rot. But moisture is like the mixer, is like the mishmash. It makes everything go back into unity, into the earth, and then something new can be created from it. And so the water isn't only the mixture and the rotter, but it also gives life. It also creates new life. It springs life into action. It gives life to seed. If a seed is completely dry, there's no the life force can't come out of it. And we are water. That's why our water is so important. That's why I drink water from the spring, and I drink water from even tap water. It goes first through pottery, which is something that my twin does. He um, he works alongside a Arab Palestinian that lives in the Shtachim, lives behind the lines, and it's kind of also by a way of making peace, of making showing that we work together. We're all one. And so the maker of his pottery has been in that same same line of work for, I think, 300 or 400 years. His family has done that same work. So it's a family trait. And he actually burns the pottery with wood. He has a big, massive stove. Um, I've seen the videos. He sent him videos of how he makes it. It's amazing. They go and they actually dig the earth up, and they make the the pottery itself, the clay itself, and then they hand make these pots, and inside there's like the finger marks. There's circulation, so there's constant circulation in these pots, and it's bringing the water back down into the earth vibration. So it's like repurifying the vibration of the water that you put in your body before you put it in your body. And you can tell the taste of the water is different. It tastes different. It tastes pure. It feels different. um, and so that's something in the last year or so that I've been really watching, is where I try as little as possible to drink water from the tap, or especially from plastic bottles that have sat, distributed plastic bottles of water. That's a water that sat in plastic, and first of all, they have to kill the water, kill it of anything alive, which our body is vital. Everything is alive. Water is alive, so that it doesn't turn green, and so that they can keep it in the bottles for months and months and months. And it's also, the plastic also has a vibration, but it doesn't only have a vibration. It's created from poisons, and so poisons are being put out into your water. And who is making these? Who is making all these testifying for the water? The people that are making the water, that have an interest in selling water. I remember when bottled water came out, and I remember I was a little kid, and I remember thinking, but why? Why would anybody bottle water and sell it? Why would anybody buy bottled water? You have tap water. You have water. Why would somebody buy water? I remember just being a complete, I was little. I must have been between 6 and 8. And I remember thinking that it was the stupidest idea ever. And then it caught on, and everybody was buying bottled water, and I thought everybody's stupid. And now you see, and not only that, what about the water bottles? They're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. I walk through the valley, and there's bottles of bottled water. People buy little bottled waters that are this big, so that it's only one little drink, and then they can throw the plastic away that's going to stay here hundreds of thousands of years. It's like, in the way that I think, that is just absurd. Like, how could somebody do that? How could somebody make that and consciously go to sleep at night when they know that they made this little, there's little things of plastic that have one little schluck in them, one little drink in them that are like this, but they're fun for kids because they come in they come like designed as little animals or something, and inside they have some kind of colored sour water or something. And I refuse to buy them for my kids. I refuse. That there's more plastic in it than the water substance. It's like crazy. And it's made for one time use of going, and that's it. There's no way to reuse those. A bottle of water you can reuse, you can fill it back up. Not that we do. And or plastic cups or styrofoam cups for one time, and the styrofoam cups, half of them smash before you even use them. And styrofoam is horrible. It turns into little balls and gets mixed in with everything. Okay, enough on that rampage. So my thoughts were, when I was sitting here, I'm getting back to the point that I was trying to make from the very beginning of this video, is that my emotions, I was alchemizing my own emotions, and I was thinking, my emotions are of no consequence. 100 years from now, sitting here, oh, poor me, I'm so poor, I'm heartbroken, is going to be so insignificant if I didn't do anything with it. If the only point of power that I have into the future is leaving a legacy. And leaving a legacy, it doesn't mean it can't come from the ego. It's not look at me, look at me. Those kind of legacies are very superficial. The legacy that I can leave is Lekademing. Lekademing is like advancing mankind. So taking whatever pain I have, or whatever thoughts I have, or knowledge that I have, or conclusions that I get to, or understandings that I have, or being my full expression and bringing my expression forth to advance mankind, to advance myself, to heighten the experience for others, which it's the butterfly effect that's coming back to a video that I did, I think either yesterday morning or a couple of days ago. You see how my videos evolve off of one another. They're continuous. This spiritual awakening is, and that is also part of what I feel like is something that I am witnessing in myself, and that I'm allowing others to witness, is what the spiritual awakening looks like. And the spiritual awakening is full of pain and letting go and surrender. And it's also, one thing is built on top of the other, and you can see the advancements in I'm allowing others to be witnesses of it as I go along. And I trust, like I said, that whoever needs to find these videos and is connected to them will connect to them and be connected to them. And whoever doesn't, it doesn't have, that this is even if it's one person that can connect to this and understand. I feel like I'm putting words to things that a lot of us are going through right now, especially in these extreme times with everything polarizing and everybody's life changing and everything up in the air. And many, each of us are individual filters of what's going on. So whatever's coming through me is coming through hundreds of thousands of other people, but my unique way of expressing it can help others understand their unique way of expressing it, or their unique way of thinking about it. It's like we're all going through the same things, and each of us express it differently, and each of us put different words to it, or each of us are connecting to different little streams of it. And in that little stream, there are all of these little intricate things that connect to other people's streams, and that this can help them also understand what they're feeling. And that is what I realized. One of my talents is that I'm able to express myself well and bring words to things, and bring words to things, and I also have the ability to help people feel what they feel, um, open their emotions, and expressing that is also part of being an expression. It's part of coming to terms with your superpowers. It's starting to coming to terms with your talents and being able to express them in a way that doesn't mean that you are being cocky, and it doesn't mean that you're being proud. Yes, being proud is a good thing. You be proud of yourself, but when you come to terms with your own talents and you know what they are and who you are, and you can express them clearer, and you can take hold of them, of your archetypes, or whatever it is that is coming through you, and you can use it with intention, and you can use it with power. So it's like coming into your power. It's admitting to yourself who you are without fear of judgment or fear of others saying, "Oh, uh, they're being," it's coming to terms with yourself. It's being proud of yourself and knowing who you are, and then you can actually take your superpowers and use them without fear of judgment from others. And you know that judgment of others is judgment of themselves. Anybody that has the fear, certain fears, or put off judgment onto you, it's because that is the way that they feel. It really has nothing to do with me. It has to do with their life experience and the way that they were taught to think, and the way that they are conditioned in this human experience, and the way that they see the world, and they're putting it off onto me. So when you think of it that way, there really is no reason for me it's nice to have approval and for people to express that they like me or enjoy me or see me in good light. It's nice, but what's most important is that I do. From my own life experience, because I am who I say I am, and I get to tell the world who I am, and in order to do that, I also have to know who I am and accept who I am and see who I am, also in the flaws, but also in the good places, and the talents and what I'm good at. And if a writer doesn't know that they're good at writing, then they wouldn't write, and then the world would be deprived of their gift. It's like my brother-in-law told my sister is a performer and she's a singer, and she has a beautiful voice. When she sings, you get shivers all up and down when she's really present in her singing. And my brother-in-law told her that when she's not singing, she is taking away the gift that she has to give to the world, that she's not allowing the world um, to benefit from her gift. And I see that in so many different ways. So, okay, in singing, it's a very obvious, but we all have talents and we all have gifts. And me being able to express that, even in giving this message about our talents and gifts and embracing them and allowing others to see what it looks like. And it doesn't look like me being proud and, oh, look at me and I'm above others, because it's not coming from that place. It's coming from a place of individuality, and a place of coming into my own power, and a place of coming into my own knowing what I'm worth, um, and embracing it. And that is also coming back to the twin flame journey, is that I am coming into my own and giving approval to myself and knowing my own superpowers. Then I won't have those feelings of rejection. It's coming back to the chimpanzees also. It's kind of just flowing with it. What comes my way is naturally comes my way. What It's like the flower. The flower comes out and expresses itself, and a mockingbird came, and now there's an ant on it. I can see an ant running up and down. So it's giving its gift to the world, and whoever needs that gift is coming and benefiting from it. And that's kind of like, I feel like what we are. We're flowers. We just need to flower. We don't have to go out and try to grab anything and bring it to us. I mean, we can offer things to come to benefit from us if we want to, but it's definitely, we don't need to go and force our gift. What is ours will naturally magnetize towards us. It's just like, some people have written me that they're happy that they found my videos, because I bring, I guess, understanding into things that they're going through. And the way that I see it is that We are what is ours and what will benefit us naturally comes into our life when we are in the flow. When we are in allowance and in our center, whatever is naturally in allowance and in alignment with us will come into our life by nature. It has to be that way. If I'm off busy trying to make things happen, trying to make things happen, trying to force things to be in a certain way, the way that I'm using my brain and trying to force them to be, then I'm not in allowance with myself. And what will come into my life will be out of whack with me, will be often some thought spiral that isn't beneficial to my true essence and my true being. If I'm putting all of my focus and trying to, and that was like what the chimpanzee would, we have our own internal clock, just like the chimpanzee does. The chimpanzee doesn't have to think about when to wake up in the morning, and every morning, 6:30 a.m., they start waking up with the world around them, and with the sun. One day is 6:30, the next day is 6:32, the next day is 6:34. Their internal clock knows exactly what to do. And I was thinking when we were watching, when I was by myself, but I say we, when we were watching it, me and all the guardian angels around me and my guiding and my guidance and all the demonic beings that are always around me that I thank for being around me, that give me contrast in my life. And really I feel like we live in peace. Um, we live in peace and acceptance, and I really feel also like that they love me. I do. I really do. I can feel their presence, and I almost feel like, even though they're like these shadow forces, these dark forces, I can feel like they guard over me, that they kind of they're dark forces, but they love me anyway, and they want, and they're wishing for my good, for my well-being, because they know me so intimately, and they have been with me for so many years, that they want for my best interest. And as they see me blossoming and on this spiritual path, they're like, they are, first of all, I feel like I'm removing them from within me. I did a video a few months ago in the winter, and it took me a few months to post it because it was channeled, and it was about a kind of um, subject that can be, it was about jinns and demons and internal demons. And I would suggest, if you're interested in that, to see that, because that was a channeled message that came through, how jinns and genies and demons are within us, within our cracks. And I feel like all of the demons that I'm expelling from me, demons, wrong perspective, wrong ways of thinking, things that I'm shedding from within me, my shadows, they are still in existence. They're entities, and these entities are still with me. I feel like they're with me, but not in me. They're around me because they want my presence, and they want to be in my they want to be in my presence, and they want to see my rising. And I feel like my demons and my guiding angels are in peace with one another, even if they are in conflicting ideas sometimes. But they are all around me. They're kind of in they can see each other, but they're in separate dimensions, and they have different thoughts. And so, and I feel like they're respectful of one another. I know, but I can see it. I am in, when I'm in that, I'm in that dimension now, and I can see them. I can see how it works. And they are partially overlapping dimensions. So they have separate dimensions, but those dimensions overlap in their love for me and in their presence for me. I can feel that they're like adopted. Um, okay, so coming back to my point here is that really the power of, I was thinking about the big picture, coming back to the pyramids, the paradigm pyramids. I don't know why paradigm is coming to my mind. I need to look that word up and see what it means. But pyramids, um, these pyramids, the inner and outer, the seeing that we're at the bottom of the pyramid, but also seeing that we're at the top of the pyramid when we go back generations or go forward generations, and we're all gliding on this direction of time, which we can bend in perception, because time is only perception. We can perceive it differently, and we can go into the now and prolong our lives. Literally, we can prolong it by perception, because time is something that is perceived. And when we're in our heads, we lose our time. We're reliving the past or projecting the future, and it is of no power. It is of no, we can go into the past and project our future in ways of guiding our self-being and taking our life in directions that we want to take it. But if we just live in our minds and live in the future, or in the past, or in fear, because fear is only in the future, unless there's a lion here ready to attack me, and that's already a different type of fear, and then my instincts kick in, so there's no need to worry about that anyway. There's just the only thing that I can do in order to prevent the lion is to work on myself, so that when the lion comes, I will be in my steadfast self and not in movement, and my being won't be shaken by it, and then I can stay calm and make the right decisions. That is the best thing that I can do for that kind of threat on me, or other threats that come. Nowadays, other threats that come could be threats of, I'm not going to be able to make a living, or things like that. So the best that I can do is my own self-work and bringing myself to my center. And then, it's like doing the work, but from around the corner. It's not like, oh, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? What do I have to do? Because if I'm in that shaking mode, it means that I don't know what to do. And it means that I'm in fear. And in fear-based decisions are not good decisions. And so in order to come, and you won't come to a good solution anyway if you're all thinking about, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? It means that you don't know what to do. And besides, it's not helpful. Fear is only in the future. If you've noticed, fear, you don't fear the past. You fear what happened in the past might happen in the future if you don't get over your traumas. But fear only lives in the future, in the unknown. Fear resides in the unknown. And so there's no sense of it other than working on my own center and becoming stronger within myself. There's no sense in me sitting in fear. And because if I make myself stronger, I'll be able to deal with the fear greater when it comes along. And so that would be the greatest thing that I could do, is to work on myself and strengthen myself. And I was thinking about this pain that I've been having, and I need to wrap this up. I was thinking about the pain that I've been having, and how insignificant it can be. The only thing that is significant, because in 100 years from now, any pain that I'm sitting in is going to be completely gone. Even a year from now, when I'm still here, it's going to be gone, hopefully. But the pain, really, the most powerful thing that I can do with the pain is alchemize it into helping others and bringing my vibration up by realizing it and working with it and through it, and rising my vibration so that I can raise the planet's vibration. So it is basically the best thing that I can do with it is put it into the force, into my life force, and create good from it, create advancement from it, advance from it, so that I'm advancing humanity. And how do we advance humanity? Our knowledge is based on past knowledge. And so my legacy, the best legacy that I can leave for my children, for my great grandchildren, I'm thinking of my great grandfather now, who was a spiritual leader and a religious spiritual leader, and still to this day has a following. And and he died a few months before I was conceived. He died in November of 75, and I was born in September of 76. So I feel like he flows through me. I also connect, I have like this connection. I feel this connection to him. His name is Andrew Duggar, if anybody wants to look him up. And, and I'm connected to his story. And I also see that he was also on the twin flame journey. And he was also the chaser on the twin flame journey. And my grandmother was the chooser. And it's funny because their love story is a story that, and they did great things together. They did great things considered. You know, they moved from the States to Israel and put down a church base. And I wasn't raised religious. Well, I do have a Jewish religious at some point in my childhood, but I wasn't raised Christian. But it's funny how things come back around because now I see things completely different. Um, I still don't consider myself to be a religious person, more of a spiritual and mystical person. You know, I'm finding in mysticism and spirituality is all of the religions, conventional religions, are based somehow in that. They all are coming back to the same point. And so I really don't feel like I'm bound by religion. I feel like I'm bound by truth and by nature and by the way that I see things, and each truth that I put into my um, understanding are conclusions that I have come through my own understanding of it and being able to see it energetically and emotionally. It started to rain. Um, so I think that I made my point. The point is that this pain, this individual pain, is of no consequence other than me being able to take it and alchemize it and use it in order to advance the all. So I'm going to go ahead and end this here. I love this that it's raining now. Um, it's so pretty here. Look at these flowers. And I love the smell of the rain. This is like the second rain, so I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to get back and do my work. And so I appreciate you watching and thank you for being with me. And if you've been here all the way to the end, I really appreciate it. I'm sending you lots and lots of love.